everyone, welcome to our very first live training session. I'm so excited to do this. So before I start, since this is the first one, I just kind of wanted to talk about my intentions for these calls. And you probably saw me post some different events in the groups earlier. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that real quick and give an overview of what the difference is and what they're gonna entail. So the Spotlight Sundays are the video or the events that I posted in the group today. So that is where you all should apply for it. I've already had people apply. And that's where we get on together and you talk about your thing, and it's more just like a conversation, a back and forth between both of us, where you talk about your stuff, I ask you questions to kind of clarify things, and I don't know, just ask fun questions. I can't really tell you what the questions are because I don't know what you're going to say yet. But that's more of like an interview style conversation where you get to really promote your thing and talk about your thing. So the other thing is the Thursday Q&A call with the booze. I haven't decided which booze I'm going to have this Thursday yet, but that's really up to you how that goes. So I scheduled them for an hour, and I feel like we're going to have to play with the times a little bit to see, you know, when will work best for people to actually show up and ask their questions. But like if I don't, I'm not just going to sit there and drink wine on live if no one's watching me do it and asking questions. So we'll just kind of play that one by ear and see how it goes. But if you can be there live, that would be awesome. Ask your questions because that's the goal. That's what I want to do. So, and then these are the weekly training calls. So I'm not going to set a time limit for these. And I still haven't really decided if I'm going to even set like a certain time slot because I kind of just want to wing it at first and see how it goes. So sometimes these might be like, I don't know, 30 minutes long or 10 minutes long. I'm going to try to stay away from anything really long because ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm going to try to keep these short and sweet and just, you know, super valuable information that you can actually implement and use. So cool. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. I guess I need to pull this up so I can actually see if anyone's watching or commenting on it. That would be helpful. Okay, so today we're going to talk about brand archetypes a little bit. So I think pretty much everybody in the group has already taken the quiz. I've seen a couple of people talking about it and talking about their archetypes. So the main question that I get after the quiz is, okay, this is really cool, this is really fun, but what do I do with it now? kind of thing. So that is really fun to talk about. So basically what your archetype does, if you read the results page in the PDF, you probably already know what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to go over it real quick anyway. So your archetype helps you understand how to articulate and personify all the characteristics of yourself, basically, so people can get to know you faster and like you and buy from you faster. So there's basically 4 things that I'm going to go over today. And like I said, I'm going to try to keep these short and sweet. So you can always, like, if you watch the replay, like, if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Just type them in the comments on the replay and I'll answer them because I want to keep these simple and short and sweet. Cool? So there are 4 basic things to understand about branding and how to use your archetype. Cool? So number 1 is that you are your brand. Okay? You are your brand. Like, you are your differentiator. You are your special sauce. Special sauce. I think that's weird when people say that. I don't really like that term. But your unique selling proposition or value proposition or whatever marketing word you want to use for it, you are what sets you apart from everyone else. So that's why one of my core values is community over competition, because I 127% believe that there's no such thing as competition. I can do the exact same thing and provide the exact same service as someone else, but it doesn't matter because you're attracted to me because of me and because of my personality and because of how I present the information. Or you're attracted to them and you think I'm weird, and that's cool too. I am my brand. You are your brand. So that's where those archetypes are going to play the biggest role. So like for me, I'm the creator, and you've noticed too, I'm sure, that nobody fits into one archetype perfectly. We're humans. We have more than one side. So how it works is you have a primary archetype and then you have sub-archetypes that are complementary to it. So my primary archetype is the creator. That means obviously I'm creative, but there's so much more to it than that. Like, one of my strengths is non-linear thinking, is what people call it in psychology world. But basically I can visualize an end result and reverse engineer the steps to figure out how to get there. That's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people need, like, tell me to do this and this and this. Tell me exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. I don't need that. I can think about things backwards, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But then if you try to just use that primary archetype in your branding, it's going to be kind of boring. Like, you need more to it than that. And that's where most brands get hung up, is they try to just be one thing for everyone and try to please everyone and try to attract as many people as possible. Whereas what I teach through the brand archetypes is almost the exact opposite. Like, you want to use your personality, one, because you just want to be you and you don't want to be fake all the time, but also you want to use it to attract the people who are really going to like you. So that's where we get into number 2, your ideal client. So your ideal clients are the ones that you want to work with. That was one of the main problems when I first started doing, I started out as a graphic designer, if you didn't know that, and I graduated with a graphic design degree, and I had a job, and I had decided that I wanted to own my own business, though, so I was going to freelance on the side. So I did that for a while, and I decided that I hated humans, and everyone sucked, and it was terrible, because I was attracting the wrong type of clients. Like, I was getting the people who would just ask for discounts all the time and not show up on time and just didn't value what I was doing. So that's the first part of the ideal client, is the ones that you actually want to work with. Like, you want the people who see the value in what you do, and you want them to respect your time and all of those good things. So the way that you find them is by understanding that they also have an archetype. So just like you have an archetype, your ideal clients have an archetype, and you got to do a little research to figure out what you want, and then research those people. Like, go find them and actually talk to them and understand what their struggles are, understand what their goals are, where they want to be, and understand their archetype. And then that's how you're able to communicate with them in a way that they just get it, and they just get what you do, and they love you. That's the goal, right? So, and then they give you money. That's the other goal. But ideal clients are like, you've probably heard that from every single person on the internet if you are in the business group world. Like, ideal clients, they will beat you over the head with ideal client workbooks. And it's super important. It really is. Like, I don't mean to downplay it, because it's the number one and most important thing probably to focus on. But where the archetypes come in is understanding them and then actually applying that ideal client research to every single thing that you do going forward. So, you have to actually take the research and apply it. So what I see happen a lot of times is I'm working with someone and I ask them, who's your ideal client? And they'll say, oh, I work with women between 20 and 60. I'm like, that's not specific enough. So how you connect with your ideal clients, you want to join the conversation that they're already having inside their own head. So they're, trucking along on trying to get to their goal. If you are talking about stuff over here that they don't really care about, even if they really need it, they're not going to connect with you. So you have to join the conversation they're already having in their head. So that's where that ideal client research comes in, and that's when you apply it. Cool? So the third thing about branding, number 3, is that you have incredible value to offer. And if you don't, then you shouldn't have a business. So you have something super valuable to offer to your clients in order to have a good brand. So what that means is they are able to get results, get whatever the results you're trying to give them. That one's pretty easy. That's the content. So you should have that down. If you don't, you can't have a good brand. Like, this is step 2 after you kind of develop your brand, or I'm sorry, develop your business concept and your process and all of that stuff. So come back after you have that, if you don't have that yet. Cool. Okay, so then the last thing is the one that everybody is always excited about, and I get the most questions about, is the design. Like, most people associate branding with design. So hopefully, just by answering, the questions to join this group, you've already kind of realized that it's so much more than just your design and your logo and your colors and all that stuff. And it's super fun. It is. But you have to have all of these other things in place before you can get to the design. So I've already seen a couple questions, and I get emailed these questions all the time. Like, yes, I'm the creator, or I'm the lover archetype, and I'm so excited. I want to do these colors, and I want a logo like this. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. So, but who's your ideal client? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know yet. Okay, so design comes last. You have to have all those other pieces in place, because otherwise, how are you going to create designs that connect with them if you don't even know who they are, right? So cool. Design comes last. So that's the 4 things. Do a quick recap. You are your brand. You are what makes you different. Number 2, your ideal clients love you. You have to figure out who they are and then find them and talk to them and figure out how to speak their language. Number 3, you have to have something valuable to offer. If you don't, go figure that out first and then come back and try to build a brand. And 4, design comes last. Do design at the very end, and then you will be good. So, and you know what? Number 5, you can do it. Throw that in there too. It's super easy to get discouraged and like overwhelmed with all of this stuff, but it does take work. I'm not going to say that it's easy by any means. If it's easy, everybody would have a badass brand and the world would be perfect. But it's not like that. So don't get discouraged and be willing to dig a little bit deeper than you're willing to do initially. Like, push yourself a little bit. Go, beneath the initial surface level and put in the work, and it will be worth it for you. Cool? So that's all I have for this training. Like I said, if you have questions or if something I said didn't make sense, because I got a little sidetracked in the middle there, but if something doesn't make sense or you watch the replay and you have questions, just put them in there. I'll come back later and answer them. If not, that's cool too. I will see you on Thursday for the Q&A call. And awesome, okay?